Hello, and welcome to this T-Level Tactics video for Root Core 2 Culture of the T-Level Digital Support Services course. And in this video, we'll be looking at the impact of automation. So, we're going to outline types of automation available in industry. We'll analyse the impact of automation on society. We'll also theorise about the impact of future automation technologies as well. Before we start, T-Level Tactics videos are not endorsed or sponsored by any education institution or qualification awarding body. And these videos should not be used as a replacement to any classroom learning you might be receiving, as the discussion and practical activities with your peers and lecturer will help to expand your thinking and comprehension. Instead, these materials are best used as preparation or as revision materials to reinforce your learning. And these videos cover the same content and required knowledge for Root Core 2 of the T-Level Digital Business Services course. However, they're going to be more contextualized towards IT support roles. Let's have a look at what automation is then and where it's come from. Let's take a look at the development of automation through history. Way back, ancient Greeks and Romans had devices like water clocks to help keep track of time. But the first real documented development of automation came in 1206, when Al-Jazari, a Turkish Muslim engineer, wrote the Book of Knowledge or Ingenious Mechanical Devices. This book outlined designs for various different types of automated devices, but not many of them actually came to fruition. First major advancement in automation really came in 1769, with the development of the steam engine that kick-started the Industrial Revolution. It took a while before the next major development, which happened in the 1860s, with the development of the internal combustion engine. And the next real push forward was the 1930s, where Alan Turing built the bomb crypto-analytical device during the Second World War, which was a precursor to Colossus, and also the development towards modern computing. Moving into the later 1900s, this is where things get really interesting and quite fast-paced. In the 1960s, we see the introduction of microcontrollers and integrated circuits, allowing basic automation in aerospace and manufacturing. In the 1970s, we get logic controllers, which allows for more advanced manufacturing automation. In 1990, Tim Berners-Lee publishes his first web page and kickstarts the World Wide Web. In the early 2000s, we start to see robotics and automation integrated into logistics, healthcare, and farming. And in the 2010s, we see the Internet of Things make an appearance, as well as the introduction of machine learning technologies and Industry 4.0, combining automation and big data analytics. And now in the 2020s, we're seeing the widespread use of autonomous vehicles, AI, virtual assistants, chatbots, and AI generation of images, videos, and sounds. So there are two main types of automation. The first is hardware or physical automation, and the second is software-based automation. Physical automation uses technology and machinery to perform tasks that would usually require physical, human efforts. And it can range from simple mechanical devices to complex robotic systems. We often find physical automation in manufacturing, logistics, agriculture, and more. Here are some examples of physical automation. Things like robotic arms, conveyors, automated guided vehicles, and also drones. Software automation is computer-based and often has no physical output. It can include AI and machine learning software and is often used for business processes in software development, testing, and IT operations. Software automation could be used for automated testing, such as testing software applications for functionality to identify bugs and issues. It could be used for robotic process automation, such as data entry, invoice processing, and some basic customer service tasks. You may also find it being used in scripting and batch processing, for things like file management, data processing, and system maintenance. And of course, for other workflow automation, automating complex workflows that require multiple steps. And there are plenty of cases where both physical and software automation will be combined. Software automation can drive and give actions to a physical automation system. You could take a look at the Amazon Books make-on-demand process, where there's still some human involvement, but lots of it is automated. A customer can purchase a book on Amazon that doesn't yet exist, and it'll be printed when that customer makes the order and sent to them as soon as possible. It's worth looking into. So if you're a Patreon member, you should have a look at the task sheet on patreon.com/T-Level Tactics. If you're not a member yet, head over there and take a look. It's well worth it. Download the task sheet and have a go at the first task. It's only a short one. It'll take about 20 minutes. Pause the video here, have a go at the first task, then come back when you're ready to move on to part 2. Let's look at the impact of automation. When automation started becoming widespread during the Industrial Revolution, it brought with it many promises of a better future. Promises of an easier life, better work-life balance, social mobility, and more. But what has the impact of automation really been? Automation has impacted a number of areas that we're going to take a look at. The economy, workforce, equality, workplace conditions, and the environment. With the economy, automation has brought increased productivity. Machines and software can perform repetitive tasks faster and more accurately than people most of the time. With that increased productivity has brought economic growth, reducing production costs and increasing outputs, lowering costs for consumers, and increasing profits for businesses. It's also brought about some job displacement. People who would have previously performed those repetitive tasks, or tasks that are now automated, may have been made redundant. They may need to be looking at finding a different job or a different role instead. Which brings us to the workforce. There have been skill shifts. There's been an increased demand for technical skills to manage and maintain automated systems. And employees that had their role replaced may need to upskill or reskill for a new role. We've also found that students who will eventually enter the workforce are studying new topics and focusing on specific skills required for changing industry. There are new jobs, new opportunities in robotics, AI, machine learning, and data analysis. But automation has brought the loss of the human element. Automated chatbots and AI can lead to decisions and outcomes that are effective, but may not necessarily be moral, and may not consider individual circumstances. In terms of equality, automation should bring a better work-life balance. Reducing repetitive tasks should allow employees to focus on more meaningful work. And the automation of tasks has the potential to lead to decreased working times to produce the same or increased outcomes, meaning employees could, in theory, work less hours to do the same job. It has also brought inequality, though. It's negatively impacted income equality. And people with advanced skills may benefit more from these technological enhancements, whereas low-skilled workers could face job losses and wage stagnation. Automation has brought about flexible working, leading to remote working or more flexible hours for employees. It's also led to the rise of the gig economy, with apps and websites like Fiverr, Uber, Just Eat, and Deliveroo. It has enabled us to reduce risks for people. And tasks that previously presented a physical or health hazard to an employee, machines and robotics may be able to replace it, minimizing the risks to staff. But it has also altered our perception of productivity. As tasks are automated and become faster, employees are expected to do more during their working hours. And problem solving, creativity, and interpersonal skills may have more relevance in the modern workplace than ever before. And finally, the environment. The increase of automated technologies has had an impact on carbon emissions generated by businesses and organizations. And the increased use of automation and robotics increases the amount of energy used to operate them. This fast-growing demand for electricity can lead to the burning of more fossil fuels to supply it. Water can often be contaminated as a side effect of this increase in industrialization and automation. And water is often used to cool large machinery, Bitcoin farms, and AI data centers. This water is often sourced locally and then returned back to the local water supply. But when returned, the water is often hot and can change the ecology of lakes, rivers, and streams, making them inhabitable for local wildlife. The hot water can also lead to the growth of algae that could be toxic to humans and wildlife in the local area. But in terms of sustainability, precise and accurate manufacturing can help to reduce waste and use resources more efficiently, potentially reducing the impact on natural resources. So we've looked at a number of positive and negative points that automation has brought about. So if you're a Patreon member, you should head back to the task sheet. There's a task there that's going to make you think a little bit more about this. So pause the video here, head back to the task sheet, have a go at that second task, and I recommend you spend about 30 minutes doing it. When you're done, come back and we'll carry on with the third part of the video. So let's think about the future. We're currently in a new revolution of automation. AI and machine learning technologies are changing the way that businesses operate. And these technologies can be used to closely simulate the interactions of people on social media and electronic communications. It can also be used to create artwork and imagery. It can even duplicate the human voice. So what impact do you think AI and machine learning will have? How are these technologies going to affect society? What will their impact be? What do you think the future will look like? And what other technologies can you see changing automation and society? Now, if you're a Patreon member, that's exactly what the third task is about. It's all about your ideas of the future. So you should head back to the task sheet and have a go at that third task. It's going to take a bit longer, about 30 to 45 minutes. So pause the video here, have a look at that, and then come back and we'll finish things off with an exam question. So in this video, we've outlined types of automation in industry, we've analysed the impact of automation on society, and we've thought about the impact of future automation technologies. Let's have a look at an exam-style question. This one's a bit more difficult. Evaluate the impact that automation has had on modern society. This is more of an extended answer question, and that word evaluate means that you should look at both the positive and negative points that automation has brought. And that brings us to the end of the video. In the next video, we'll be looking at digital identity and privacy. So make sure you're subscribed at youtube.com/@tleveltactics to be notified when that one comes out. And if you haven't looked at the Patreon page yet, go to patreon.com/tleveltactics to get access to all of those task sheets and other exclusive features, like our exclusive podcast editions versions of these videos. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.